We're going to move on to John.
You too.
John is, again, president of THG Financial Services. John, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Perfect. So we have a lot of questions for you too, John. The first one that came in is our company has a 401k program. What kinds of things do we need to do or should we know when we lay off or fire an employee?
Yeah, so a lot of business owners, currently I'm getting a lot of these questions about getting rid of employees, whether it's furlough, firing, laying off. And, I think right now a lot of business owners want to be efficient, ways that they could save money, not spend more money. So one of the things that a lot of business owners, clients are doing right now is saying that I might need to lay you off, fire you, furlough, whatever the technical term is for each company. But I may need to come back and want to rehire you when the dust settles. So one of the things that we're recommending, we always recommend, but more importantly now is as you're letting them go, if you can add value to your employees based on some of the company benefits that you provide them, you might have a better chance of rehiring them now or at any time during your business, just letting somebody go out the back door with some positive energy. Things like 401k, it's important to let them understand their options with their 401k. An example would be right now, there's some opportunities for individuals to take loans out of their 401k at a higher amount. And also if they're under 59 and a half, there's an opportunity for them to take money out and avoid the penalty and then pay the taxes back over 3 years instead of in 1 year. The problem, so we want them to understand that. Should they go to an IRA? Should they go to a solo 401k? The problem with a lot of firms that we work with, small businesses, is the HR person is fielding these questions. That puts, first of all, a lot of liability on the company because the HR person doesn't really, most situations doesn't have the knowledge, probably isn't licensed, probably hasn't been trained to answer these questions. So good advice, bad advice, not doing it on purpose, but they give them the wrong advice. That person comes back and who knows what they can do. So things like could be company life insurance. You're providing them a term insurance policy. When you let them go, they no longer have insurance. So giving them options, giving them an outlet so that these employees have, could be health insurance, have the knowledge to do with their new life, what they, how they want to handle it.
So that kind of brings up the next question. Is there an education program available for us to learn how to handle employee separation concerning the 401k, the health insurance, the life insurance, so we give the employees good information? So like you were just talking about, they need to educate them, but they need to be educated first. So what do? They want to make sure they're giving the right information.
Right. Yeah, great question. So a lot of what firms, like a firm, what we partner with these people, sort of an outplacement educational program, right? So when the HR is letting this employee know that, hey, you're no longer with us and here are the reasons, but here's a firm that we've partnered up with to give you some education on some of the options you have. And I think the employee would appreciate, as we've seen, the HR person not giving them that information because they know they're an HR person, that they have that's not their wheelhouse. So to partner up and say, we've partnered up with a firm who can help you explore your options, health insurance, life insurance, what's the best thing to do with your company 401k? Should you keep it at the company? You don't need to, but if you put it into an IRA, you can't take a loan out, so you qualify for a solo 401k. All these questions, especially right now when a lot of business may want to rehire these people, want to add value to them. But I would argue that whether it's this time or another time, you don't want pissed off employees when they're leaving your company. So if we can help them out, it could be more beneficial.
Another question is, we have to cut costs. How do I know if we are paying too much in 401k management, or doesn't it make any difference? Is it all about the same?
So fees within the 401k, a couple years ago, there was a lot of transparency that was uncovered, which is good, but still a lot of people don't understand the fees within their 401k. There's fees with some of the funds that are in your 401k. The employees are paying some of the fees. The employer is paying some of the fees. And most businesses that we work with don't fully understand that. And what are you getting for the fees that you're paying for? Are you getting education from your 401k provider? Do your employees have a direct contact with the team, or is the 401k provider just sort of nowhere to be found and collecting their 1.5%, 2% every single year? So one of the options is to sort of do an audit of that and say, okay, it's like I think Brent was saying, it's time to step back right now and take a look at a lot of things. And one of the areas that business owners can save money is seeing am I paying too much on my 401k. Even if I'm paying, maybe I'm okay with you, but I'm also getting the value that I'm paying for that. So an audit program to say, okay, let's get under the hood and look at all the fees that we're paying. And it's a competitive business, right? A lot of companies are coming in with lower fees. And there's a lot of different pieces, third-party people that have to be involved in the 401k. You have to hire TPAs. You have to hire third parties. And some companies out there will bundle all that to make it more efficient for the business owner.
I see. And this probably answers the next question too. We have in place a buy-sell agreement and 2 key person plans. Right now, we're all about cost savings and value. How do we know if we should look for other alternatives?
Yeah, so it's sort of the same audit process. Firms like ours do complimentary audits of people's key man program, their buy-sell program. What is it funded with? A lot of it's funded by life insurance. Is the life insurance up to date? Mortality tables have been reset in the life insurance business. So the cost has actually gone down. People are living longer. Is it the most efficient product? Is it cash value? Is it not have cash value? So taking that through a similar audit program to say, either confirm what you have is okay, or here are some findings. Maybe you can get more coverage or more benefits for the key man paying the same premium. Maybe you can pay less. So I think, once again, an opportunity to be efficient, especially right now, saving some money and just taking that step back and looking at all these pieces that as business owners, we're busy with our business. We don't have time. We assume that it's all taken care of. A lot of times it is taken care of, but it's not as efficient as as it can be because we don't have the time.
Okay. And the last question for you is, we are looking at several ways to cut costs. Again, it's kind of a theme. We have an employee retirement plan. I've heard the phrase stress test the plan, but I'm not sure what that means.
So it's a common term that I have, and I like the use of it. A lot of people, I'll take it to the individual more in the individual retirement plan, whether it's a business owner with a retirement plan or an employee with the retirement plan. And I think one of the themes is, as business owners, if we can provide value to our employees, right, whether it's right now, which the answer is we want to, or anytime during our career without adding expense, I think it can be very valuable. So one of the things, and I love the term stress test your retirement plan. Is your retirement plan too one-dimensional? Is your retirement plan, we see a lot of people, they put all their money into their 401k and they go to retire and they just pray. And unfortunately, if you did that this year or last year, or you planned on doing it later, you're probably going back to work. If it was one-dimensional, if it was all tied to the market. So stress test that. A lot of people, what's worked in the past for retirement, in our opinion, doesn't work anymore as efficiently as it has. So are there alternative ways to get to my retirement goals, taking less risk? So the stress test analogy is basically saying, let's take it through, it's that same audit process, but more importantly, how many dimensions is your retirement plan? So at a business owner level or the employees, and adding that value to your employees costs the company nothing, right? But partnering up with an outside firm to say, we're going to give you all an audit of your retirement plan or stress test of your individual retirement plan is a good way to build morale and add value and benefits in a world where health benefits are going up, right? It's nobody's fault on this call. It's the reality of it. You might have had a 401k and you're not matching it anymore. So what are ways that you could add value to the firm without costing you anything? And that's an example that we work with companies on that stress test idea for an individual retirement plan within the 401k.
Perfect. I want to mention one thing about Corporate Capital and your firm, John. Both of you have a national footprint. with your business. And I don't know the exact number, but I know, John, you've got a couple hundred advisors in your companies. Is that correct? I mean, you can take care of business across the country.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add or say before we move on to Bruno?
Nothing that I didn't say. I think the theme is for business owners right now, efficiencies. And is there anywhere we can cut costs without screwing ourselves down in the future? You know, save $1 today and it'll cost us 10 later on in the year. We don't want to do that. But I think with all parts of your business, I talked about the areas that are in my wheelhouse. Is there an opportunity to review, audit, whatever the term is? And I think it's the theme with a lot of us. It doesn't cost you anything, but maybe now's the time. Unfortunately, you have some more time. We're at home to say, you know what, I haven't done that. I've been meaning to. Let me see if I can get this done and get out of this maybe a little ahead of where I was before.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, John, for your time. We appreciate it. And I'm sure there'll be some follow-up questions, and I will get those to you. And but again, thank you for joining us.